I'm going to let you in a little secret. Most of my clients actually find me before their bosses do. So, what that means is I'm rarely assigned to work with anybody as part of a bigger anonymous coaching contract. Instead, most of my coaching clients find me either through YouTube or seeing me speak at their organization or reading one of my books or maybe even having a friend recommend me. That's how people find me generally. It's not because I go into large companies and say, I'll work with 100 people. That's just not the way I tend to do that. Then, at that point, one or two things happen. Sometimes they've had a conversation with me and we can put together a proposal for their boss, outlining what focus we're going to have on a couple key things that their boss wants delivered. And then that proposal goes to the boss, and the boss can see how we're going to use that time. And that really helps. Alternatively, they will have had a conversation with their boss maybe beforehand about their goals and then get their bosses to approve the expenditure. Because here's the sneaky bit employers often don't advertise. Most employees, including you, actually do have access to some kind of career development budget. Sometimes it's annual, but if you haven't used yours in a while, even if you didn't realize you didn't have any, you probably do. And you could ask for a lump sum, which is some of my clients have done before, that gets paid and said, you know what, I know maybe I have a small amount, but I'd like to use it for last couple of years. I didn't use anything. I'd like to use it this year for career coaching. Additionally, what often happens with some of my clients is they point to successful people that I've worked with who are people that their boss may know or have heard of in their industry, or maybe even the same company. That works too. I mean, for example, there is one of the largest banks in the UK that I am not officially a preferred provider for. And the reason I'm not is because I don't work with a much larger coaching consortium. However, I do lots of speaking there. I have done several workshops and I've coached several women all the way through to MD level. And what's really interesting is that happens only because they can point out to their boss, well, Suzanne helped get Sarah, Jane, and Mary up to MD positions in this very bank. So even though my name is not officially affiliated with the organization, that actually speaks volumes to their bosses because that's impressive. Because actually, we all know not everybody gets to MD level, and so when they say, "Yep, Sarah, Jane, and Mary," that is who she worked with, and they all got to MDs. Okay, that's impressive. And yes, I'm going to be very honest. Sarah, Jane, and Mary is the feminist alternative to the everyman phrase of Tom, Dick, and Harry. So I have worked with some Tom, Dick, and Harry as well, but I tend to work more with Sarah, Jane's, and Mary's. Anyway, drawing upon a recent conversation around this topic, getting your boss to pay for it, and maybe even your performance appraisal would be a great place to start. 360 feedback. Use that to find your boss's top priority for you. And then, you know what? We'll work to that list of things that you want to work with a coach on. No doubt that thing will not be the only value that you get out of it. We can look at other goals as well. But essentially, my clients find that getting their boss to see the value in having someone else support them as they get through those targets or those goals that they've got is actually fundamentally huge for their boss. So I think that that's the thing that often gets funding approved. And if you want to speak specifically with me as to what that might look like, very happy to do that. Good luck with getting the funding, but it's not something that a lot of people think about, but there are many ways to get your boss to pay for the coaching.